Will this whiskey be 2 barrels worth of flavor?
Well, it might be. This is the double barrel single grain whiskey from Two Stacks. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Matt, I'm the Whiskey Nerd.
I'm Rose, and I'm the Whiskey Noob.
And like we said, this is the double barrel single grain whiskey from Two Stacks. Let me get it into the glass and I'll tell you a little bit more about it.
I love that you can always tell it's Two Stacks by, well, not only just the beautiful art that's on their bottles, but like the shape of the bottle is so unique and I love it.
Yes, except they have also recently redesigned their bottles. It's still very much similar like to what it is right now. I think the neck is a little bit different, the cap's a little bit different, but the idea is it's become more sustainable. I think they're using...
That's fine, sustainability is great.
They're using more like recycled materials in the bottles. A little bit different shape, but mostly the same kind of tall, thin with all this information on the label, because one thing with Two Stacks is they're always very transparent about their whiskey, because they are not a whiskey distillery, they're a whiskey bonder, they're a whiskey blender.
Yeah.
So this here is a single grain whiskey that was matured in the Great Northern Distillery. It was first off in bourbon barrels and then finished in Oloroso sherry casks.
Ooh, Oloroso sherry!
Hence the double barrel. In fact, this is one, so they have like 3 of these double barrel whiskeys. They have a single malt, which I've reviewed before. They've got a single grain, this one here, and they've got a single pot still, which was newly enough released.
Okay.
I don't yet have a bottle of that, but I might get it, and I might do like a triple double or
a triple double
or a double triple review of all of them beside each other, because it's kind of cool to see those are like the components for their kind of core flagship blend.
Yeah.
And so to see them individually and see how they add into the main whiskey is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're very transparent. They say that it's matured in the Great Northern Distillery. I know that they've got some other whiskeys from like the Cooley Distillery and from other places. So I think the next couple of years will be cool from Two Stacks, because they might have, a blend of whiskey that's, part of it from one distillery, part of it from the other distillery. And you can kind of see like they might take, we like the fruity flavors from this one, we like the spicy flavors from that one, and they can blend it together.
Okay.
In a way that like Scotch whiskey does a lot. Like Scotch whiskey blends will take from multiple distilleries.
Yeah.
Irish whiskeys don't really do that too much. So Two Stacks, I think it could be cool if they do that, because you could get some really interesting flavor combinations.
Yeah, I think besides the design, my next favorite thing about Two Stacks really is that transparency, because if you're trying to learn about whiskey and what you like, what you don't like, the fact that they give you so much information is so helpful for better understanding what it is that you do like, or even some like the actual pure transparency bit, like it says no added coloring onto it. So you don't need to know German for if you have a whiskey sold in Europe or it's sold in Germany, it'll have a little label saying if there's been color added or not, and they just say it.
They just tell you, yeah. So this is natural color. Like it's quite light, but like that's single grain whiskey. It's gonna be kind of light.
Yeah.
I think that's all. It does come in at 43%. Most Two Stacks whiskeys, except for like their cask strength ones, that come in at like 63%, come in at around that 43% mark, which is a nice one for drinking. But it's not super strong. It's not super light.
Yeah.
I might prefer the 46%.
46 is my favorite.
46 is, I think, a good one. It's that level where you don't have that burn yet, but you still get a lot of flavor. But 43% is fine. But I think that's enough talking about it. Let's go in for the nose.
Yay!
Cheers. Sláinte.
Sláinte. Oh my god, that's a lovely nose.
Yeah, like single grain whiskey, when it's made well, it can give you this kind of like toffee butterscotch, and that's kind of what I'm getting here. A little bit of like that sweet butterscotch. Not fudgy necessarily, but like brown sugar butterscotch.
Like I can take a full breath in through my nose and I get so many different kinds of flavors. Like it's well mastered. Like that toffee butterscotch, like there are so many different kinds, not just like caramel, vanilla.
Yeah. It's not super strong. It is kind of light, like you said, you can take a full breath, but just because it's light doesn't mean it doesn't have a lot of flavor. We recently reviewed a different whiskey.
Shall not be named
by a certain UFC fighter. Who could it possibly be? And that one was super light, but didn't have a lot of flavor. This is light with flavor.
Yeah. It's kind of like you're floating in the clouds or something.
Here we go.
An Alice in Wonderland kind of thing.
Yeah, like that Oloroso sherry influence is coming through. Like it's almost like almondy, kind of like that. Not quite like marzipan,
No, a little lighter.
but like that kind of sugary almond kind of.
Yeah.
Are you getting any kind of fruitiness on it?
Yes.
Yes.
There is something that raisins. I eat a lot of raisins.
Yeah, like raisins, sultana, those kind of like dried out kind of
Yeah, but like raisins, if you put it in oatmeal, like you're not just eating a handful of raisins.
Yeah,
at one
yeah,
time.
like where you get that kind of the creamy like oatmeal.
Yeah.
With the raisins.
Yeah.
That kind of, I think the nose, like we said, it's light, not light on the flavor, but kind of light. So do you want to go in for the palate?
Let's do this.
See how it goes.
Sláinte.
It's still quite sweet on the palate.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's like a little bit of spiciness or something's in there, but
But
the first thing that came to my mind
first thing
was a bakewell.
a bagel.
Because I've gotten pretty good at making them, but in particular, a pear and almond bakewell.
Yeah, there's some like orchard fruits. If you, I don't know, in America do you call them bakewells?
I don't think so.
I'll put a picture of it up there. It's like a sponge, like an almond sponge cake with some
pear in it, like
Yeah.
whole pear, so it's nice and juicy.
Yeah, I'll put a picture up there. Yeah, but it's like that. You get that kind of orchard fruits, but pears.
Yeah,
Still
like that juiciness of a pear.
Yeah.
It's not like that super strong flavor. Pears are a little bit on the lighter side, but
And you get still the vanilla.
yes.
Still that sweet, like so you get those like kind of cooked grains.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm gonna go in for another sip. It was very like a pear bakewell.
I might make a pear and almond bakewell, and we can have it with the whiskey. Ooh, now that's a pairing for the ages.
That's a pairing.
Oh my god, I even do that on purpose.
Yeah, touch of oak, but mostly in with that almond. This sweet again, single grain whiskey. It's gonna be sweet. It's gonna be cooked grains.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be super heavy or malty. Obviously, it won't be malty.
Yeah.
But it's nice.
Yeah, it's a crowd pleaser. Single grain is a crowd pleaser.
Yeah, and single grain can be a great base where you can build good flavors. And with the Oloroso sherry, I think you're getting a good flavor in there.
I completely agree.
Do you want to go in for the finish?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sláinte.
Sláinte. Okay. Yeah. So it's 43%. It's a single grain. It's gonna be light.
Yes.
The finish is gonna be kind of light on it.
It is light. It's not like it goes off a cliff edge, but it just fades gently away.
Yeah, like there's like a little touch of oak. I'm still getting lots of that pear.
That pear is lovely.
It's almost like again to go back to like it's like that pear bakewell where it's like been cooked and kind of caramelized, like you know when the sugars have been caramelized, like that kind of like brown sugar.
Yes. It's like you ate the bakewell a little bit ago, and you're like remembering the flavors in your mouth from it, but you're like, maybe I'll have a second slice.
Yeah, it's not super strong, but it has that nice kind of fade. I'd say it's
a pleasant memory.
It's like a pleasant. It's like a short finish.
Yeah.
It realistically
Yeah,
it is short. It's not like a super long. It's
gentle.
Evolve, but what's there is nice.
Yeah, I think it's a good story from start to end.
Yeah. I think that's all there is to say though, but before we give our final thoughts on the whiskey, although I think you know we like it, if you're new here, scroll down, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We put out whiskey reviews like this every Wednesday. We put out cocktail recipes featuring whiskey every Friday, and I will have a cocktail recipe featuring this whiskey this Friday. So if you want to see that, make sure you're subscribed and make sure you come back. But right now, final thoughts.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's a good journey, a good story.
Yeah, like I think like we've talked about this a lot on the channel. We think single grain whiskey is something that's overlooked a lot.
Yeah.
Because a lot of brands will go like, they'll make a standard blend and they'll go like 80% kind of cheap, poorly made grain whiskey, and then they'll throw in some malt or some pot still to kind of like round it out and add a bit of flavor. Single grain whiskey by itself, when it's made well and when it's taken care of, put into good casks, can be very good, and this is, I think, very good.
Yeah, I would say I love single grains. I don't hide my love for single grains. I think it's a lady's lover, you know, single grain. I think if you're taking a lady out, give her a single grain.
I think the very first whiskey you reviewed on the channel was a single grain whiskey.
Because they're delicious.
Because they're delicious, yeah. So I think that's, like we said, all there's to say. If you see this, or if you see their other double barrels from Two Stacks, they're pretty good. Like I said, they have a new single pot still one that I definitely want to try out. But yeah, I think I'm going to keep on enjoying this.
I think I might too.
And we will see you next time. Sláinte.
Bye bye.